strangled?
Oh, come on. Surely there's a mistake. I mean, who on earth would do that?
There's no mistake. I felt her pulse. She's dead, all right.
Can't believe it. Angela!
I wouldn't go in there for you.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to.
There's deep red marks on her neck and her eyes. Oh, God, her eyes.
I don't think anyone should go in there till the police arrive.
The police?
Yes.
Do we have to?
Well, come on, Joe, of course we do. We can't just leave things how they are. They're not going to go away.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Has anybody called them?
No, I mean, I don't know where the phone is. If there is one.
Well, don't you think one of you should go on the phone?
Well, don't look at me.
Well, Martin obviously isn't up to it.
It's all right. I'll go. Okay, would you mind sitting with Pam? It's probably just downstairs in the hallway where we came in.
Derek, you were with him.
No thanks.
It's all right. I can look after myself.
I can't believe this is happening. I mean...
Derek.
Oh, Martin, here. It's Brandy.
Why would anyone do such a thing to Angela? She was such a harmless girl.
Well, whoever did it might still be here.
Exactly.
Then why'd you let Frank go alone?
I think I'm strolling round this house with a murderer on the loose and you can go whistle.
You knew her before, didn't you, Martin?
A little?
Well, did she have any enemies?
No, nothing like that. Everyone loved her.
What makes you think he's loose in the house? It could have been one of you.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, why is it ridiculous? There's no one else here, is there, in the theatre, in the house?
Pam, that's not Brandy.
Oh, don't patronise me, Kate.
I'm not patronising you.
Well, then stop changing the subject. None of you liked her. All right, so she was a bit forgetful. You all made fun of her behind her back. None of you loved her.
Oh, that's just not true.
Pamela! Now, we've all had a terrible shock. You in particular. But it's no use making such wild accusations. It won't do any good.
Well, I don't think it's so wild. Can any of you prove you didn't do it?
Frank, Derek and I were on stage at the time Angela disappeared. So it must have been you or Kate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's true.
Well, no, it's not true. Not exactly. You three on stage when Angela failed to appear. Well, that's not the same thing. It could have happened earlier.
That's right.
But why would any of us want to kill Angela?
10 days ago, none of us knew Angela. Or each other, come to that.
Martin knew her, he said so.
But I liked her!
Look, let's just call it, shall we? Let's just wait for the police to arrive.
Oh, yeah. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Give yourself time to invent an alibi.
I don't need to invent an alibi.
Well, one of you does.
Oh, you exclude yourself from this little scenario, do you, Pamela?
Well, I know I didn't do it.
Derek, please.
Now, you've got such an analytical mind, Pam. Too many of those timed crosswords. It'll be your downfall one of these days.
Leave the poor girl alone. Let her have her say if she wants to.
Alright. Pamela, what is it are you trying to say?
The last time I saw Angela was at the end of the first scene, her exit with Derek. That's what, 10 minutes before she comes back on? Any one of you could have killed her in that time.
Rubbish.
No. Hold on, Derek. In theory, Pamela is right.
Now, listen.
In theory! Okay, Pam. So if we eliminate each of us one by one, would that make you feel any better? Okay. Derek?
What?
You and Angela left the stage together. That would have been your first opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much, Martin, for that kind thought.
Well, what did you do, the two of you, when you got back off stage?
Don't have to answer that question.
No one is accusing you of doing anything, Derek. We're just trying to put Pamela's mind at rest. Go on.
Okay. If you want to play games... I went off stage and went straight to my dressing room. Angela was behind me. I don't know where she went.
And then?
Look, I took off my jacket and put on my dressing gown, and then I looked at the script, I think. I went over my lines for the next scene. Then, when I heard the scene drop music fade out, I came back to the wings and straight on stage. And before you ask the next question, yes, I was alone the whole time. I saw nobody, and nobody saw me. Alright, so I had a solid 3 minutes, or whatever it was, in which to kill Angela. Is that what you wanted to hear, Pamela? Is that for your mind at rest?
Derek.
3 minutes, huh? Hardly enough time to kill a cat.
Not necessarily. Not if you know the weak points on the neck. It's all over in a matter of seconds. Even a woman could do it. She wouldn't have even screamed. Well, don't look at me like that! Just something I picked up. I'm not saying I'd ever put it into practice.
What about you, Martin? Where were you?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
We're all ears, dear boy.
I was on stage the whole time. I'm on at the end of scene 1, beginning of scene 2. During the scene change, I simply stayed put. I just loosened my tie and lay down on the sofa. Oh no, wait a minute. No, I put makeup on my face first. Yes, it's backstage. You can check if you like. And then Pam came in and covered me with the throw. And that's how I'm discovered at Curtain Up.
Pam?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, well that lets Martin off the hook. What about yourself, Pamela? Even a woman could do it.
Oh, well, I was in the corner the whole time.
Oh, really?
Oh, come on, Dad, of course she was. Do you think the taps opened and closed by themselves?
Oh, well, except during the scene change, of course. I was on stage then, changing a few props around. I reset the windows, I put the throw over Martin, and then I went back to the corner, set up the next lighting cue and stood by to open the tabs. Martin was here the whole time.
Oh, great. You're making me feel really good, you know that. Oh, go on, Kate, surprise me.
Well, I was in the corner too, working the sound tape. Well, Pamela can vouch for that.
Oh, wonderful. You've all got alibis for each other, all except Muggins here.
Well, no, that's not strictly true, Derek. I mean, if it'll make you feel any easier, when I went on stage, I went back to my dressing room. I was on my own. Well, nobody saw me. I was there, 5 minutes? Before you and Frank started treading treacle.
Kate, how chivalrous of you. You've come to my rescue. What did you do in your dressing room?
Well, I read my book, but of course I can't prove that. Well, that was until I heard Frank shouting for Angela. When it occurred to my tiny little mind that either Frank had written a new scene or the dress rehearsal had come to a standstill. Well, so I came to investigate.
Thank you, Kate. Now, what book were you reading?
Oh, Derek, really?
No, come on, try me.
I'll forget it.
Oh, can't you remember?
It's called Beyond Belief.
Oh, that just about sums up this whole situation.
How can you make fun at a time like this?
Got to get through the rest of the day somehow.
What about Frank? I mean, what were his movements?
Does anybody know?
Well, now you mention it, it was rather odd.
What was?
Well, Frank is on stage the same time as me. End of scene 1, beginning of scene 2. And during the scene change, I noticed he disappeared off stage rather sharpish.
Yes, that's right. He brushed past me as I was coming on with the throw.
He didn't appear again to the very last second. I mean, at the time, I thought he was going to be off. But eventually he ran back on, took off his jacket, and then sat down in a chair. And I remember thinking at the time, well, the audience are going to find it rather odd if he's supposed to be asleep, but yet so out of breath. Because I remember him being out of breath.
So, that would have given him, what, a minute? Minute and a half?
The scene change was 2 minutes. I timed it.
The 2-minute murderer. I wonder. Nobody saw where he went, I take it?
Oh, for God's sake! Here we are accusing people of being scheming psychopaths when a poor chap might have been taken suddenly and gone to the loo.
Kate, when you went back to your dressing room, Angela wasn't there, right?
No.
Well, isn't that a bit strange? I mean, she had a quick change too. She should have been getting changed into her nightgown.
So?
Well, didn't you think it curious that she wasn't there?
Well, no. I mean, why would I? It's the first time we've run the play in costume. I don't know what she intended to wear, let alone where she was doing the change. It could have been the wings, I don't know.
She was already wearing a nightgown.
You mean she...
Yes, that lengthens your odds a bit, I suppose, doesn't it? Now, she must have got changed when the tabs closed. That would have been your only opportunity.
Yes, that's true.
Well, then Frank's come to that.
Wait a minute. Aren't we forgetting something? When Angela first went missing, Frank sent Pam to look for her. She was gone 10 minutes, more. Plenty of time to kill Angela and fake the discovery of the body.
If you think that
Now,
I could...
hold on, Derek. If that's the case, then why did Angela miss her entrance if she wasn't killed till later?
Well, that question will have to remain unanswered for the moment. Well now, where does that leave us? I mean, looking at it purely in terms of opportunity, I would say that Marty was the rank outsider, wouldn't you agree? I mean, he had no opportunity at all. I mean, as for myself and Frank, a minute or two at the end of the scene change, I don't really think so. I'd suggest that 20 to 1 would be fair odds for the two of us. Then we come to Kate. 5 minutes more, wasn't it? You'll have to be 3 to 1, I'm afraid, Katie dear. But the odds-on favourite, in my book anyway, is our Pamela with 10 minutes. Is that what we wanted to hear, Pamela? Does that put your mind at rest?
Haven't you left somebody out?
Who?
Arthur Ledwood.
But why should Arthur Ledwood want to kill Angela?
Why should any of us want to kill Angela? At the moment, motive is not our strong suit, whichever way you look at it.
I don't buy that.
Well, why not? Here we are accusing each other when the most obvious candidate is our illustrious employer.
But why?
He must tie in somewhere.
Why would he kill Angela with half a dozen witnesses around? Well, surely if you want to murder someone, you lure them to a remote spot, don't you? On their own, with nobody around?
We're not exactly witnesses. None of us saw him do it.
Maybe not. But we are all here to testify to the fact that he's brought us to this place. When the police arrive, we'll tell him how we come to be here, and bingo! Ledwood is arrested. Case solved! He can't be that stupid.
I'm not saying he is that stupid. At the moment, we've no proof he's been here at all.
Unless... No.
What?
Nothing. I was just thinking aloud.
No, unless what, Martin?
Unless... Well, he's lured us all to a remote spot, hasn't he? All alone, no one else around.
What, you mean he wants to kill 6 of us?
Now, I didn't say that.
Starting with Angela?
But that's absurd.
It was in no way intended as a serious suggestion. I was just thinking aloud.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Oh, Derek, really?
No, why would he want us to do this play in his own theatre, in his own house, for just one performance?
He wrote the play. He wanted to see it performed. I mean, that's natural enough, right? And what about his friends in the audience? More witnesses?
Of course! The audience! Well, they'll be here soon.
How do you know there's going to be an audience? How do you know anyone's been invited here tonight? Perhaps there's an audience of just one.
Then why us?
Exactly. Why us? I mean, Frank didn't cast us, did he? Ledwood specifically chose all 6 of us, right down to Pam, the stage manager. Why? If he's got it in for all of us, for whatever reason, and he wanted to get us all alone together without arousing our suspicions, what could be more natural than to offer us all jobs doing the same play? His play.
But why would he want to kill us? I mean, we don't know him. We've never heard of him before.
Well, Frank's met him, hasn't he?
Yes. Yes, he has.
Or has he?
What do you mean?
Well, Frank never said it actually meant it, did he?
Well, they must have.
Now look, this is just getting ridiculous now. Why don't we wait for Frank to come back, and I'm sure he'll vouch for Ledwood 100%.
You've been reading too many detective stories, Derek.
Too many plays more like it.
What do you mean by that?
I don't mean anything, Derek. Now let's wait for Frank to come back with the police and let them sort it all out.
No, what do you mean too many plays?
Isn't it obvious? It's a domino man, isn't it? A group of people are lured under pretext to a remote Italian villa. They are all killed off one by one, right? Now, a group of actors are lured under pretext to a remote country house. They are all... whatever. It's the play. Now that's what put it to mind in the first place, isn't it? It's also a suggestion, that's all.
What is it, Pam?
I just had a horrible thought.
What?
In the play, Angela's character is the last to die.
So?
So, how does she die in the play?
She's strangled.
Coincidence.
Is it? I mean, when you were offered this job, had anybody's agents ever heard of this Ledwood character before?
No.
No.
Mine neither. Martin?
No, I don't think so. I didn't ask him.
And if Frank got paid the money in advance, well, that would imply that Equity haven't heard of him either. I mean, it's a union rule, isn't it, that if Equity haven't had previous dealings with an employer, they have to pay a deposit? Isn't that right?
Yes, I believe so.
So, it would appear that nobody in the business has ever heard of Arthur Ledwood. Isn't that comforting?
Why do we have to sit around here talking about it? Why can't we all just leave?
Frank will be back soon. Besides, I don't think the police would appreciate it if we just suddenly left the scene of the crime. Would you like more brandy, Pamela?
No.
I would.
God, it's so hot.
Where did you know Angela?
You knew Angela before, didn't you? Where?
I met her in Australia. I was working in Sydney for a little while. And, well, she was there too. On tour, and we just bumped into each other a few times.
You knew her well?
No, really?
You didn't get together, as it were?
A quickie affair, eh?
Not in the least. I mean, she just isn't... Well, she just wasn't like that.
How do you know that's the truth?
Well, did you know her husband?
No, she wasn't married, as far as I can tell.
Well, she wore a wedding ring.
Perhaps she was Mrs. Arthur Ledwood.
Oh, have you no respect for the dead? Don't you think Frank's been gone long enough? Shouldn't somebody go and look for him?
Maybe he can't find a telephone. Well, this is a large house, after all.
Maybe he's the murderer and he's made a run for it.
Oh, come on, Derek.
Or maybe he's out there in the house somewhere, waiting for one of us to go and find him.
Oh, you mean the 2-minute murder, you mean?
It's possible.
Oh, yes. The possibilities are endless.
On the other hand, if Ledwood is our man, maybe Frank's already dead.
Now, hold on! No, we are jumping to far too many conclusions. Now, I suggest one of us should go look for Frank and find a telephone.
Then he or she can do a bunk as well. As you say, the possibilities are endless.
Well, if you think I'm going down those corridors and to be leapt on by some 7-foot suit of armour wearing a wall and chain, you've got another thing coming. Get me out.
Why don't we all go?
I'm not moving from this spot until the police arrive. don't you go and find Frank. The other can stay here and look after us poor females. Off you go, Derek.
No, wait a minute. I think this all boils down to who we can trust the most, don't you? You know, who we can trust not to desert the sinking ship. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Ledward is now the odds-on favourite, though Frank's odds have certainly shortened. As for myself, well, I may have moved out a little in the betting, but whichever way you look at it, Martin here is still the rank outsider. I think he should go. Somehow I think he will come back. What do you say?
I don't care. Sort it out between you.
It's okay, I'll go. I don't mind.
Ah, spoken like a true hero. Why don't you go with him, Pam, if you're so keen?
You'll not leave me alone with him.
I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'll do whatever Kate wants.
Okay. I won't be long.
Oh, Martin. Take this. It's real, you might as well.
I always wondered what that yellow streak was down your back, Derek.
Right now, I'm only concerned with my neck and its preservation. If that means being a coward, so be it.
What do you think happened to poor Angela?
I don't know. I really don't know. Well, at this moment in time, I don't want to know. All I want is those boys in blue on their white chargers to come take us away from all of this.
Maybe Frank got through to them and they said wait for them at the main entrance or something like that.
Oh, I dearly hope so.
And yet, I don't know, am I building this up into something that it isn't? I mean, I keep coming back to this play, The Domino Man. You know, a group of people are lured to that villa on that particular night. A group of actors are lured to this house on this particular night. And then we find Angela strangled, the same way she dies in the play, for God's sake. What does it mean? Is it all coincidence, or does it really mean something?
It means you're going around in circles, Derek. Anyway, you're forgetting something. In the play, your death is faked, remember? You reappear at the end. You are the murderer, remember?
Don't think that hasn't occurred to me, Kate. That, of course, is where the parallel ends.
Does it?
Of course it does. I certainly didn't kill Angela, and I have no intention of killing any of you.
Well, lucky for you, I think this whole connection with the play is a load of old hooey anyway.
Still, the connections up to that point are, shall we say, intriguing.
Yeah, well, nevertheless, I'd be happier if you stayed that side of the stage, if you don't mind.
As you wish. Brandy, anyone?
No, thank you.
Or would you prefer some 100% proof burnt sugar water?
That'll do, Derek.
Oh yes, it's laced with cyanide, isn't it?
What was that? Oh, Martin!
Martin?
I'm okay. Okay.
Martin, what happened?
I got as far as the main staircase. The light in the stairwell wasn't working. I walked down the stairs. I tripped and fell, hit my head in the balustrade. There was a tripwire on the top step. And at the bottom of the staircase was Frank. He's dead.
Oh dear God, no.
No.
His neck is broken.
End of scene 3. Franco's body is found on the patio. He has fallen from the balcony. His neck is broken.